Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So today I'd like to share with you what went wrong with Wing Chun in past 160 years. It is very important to know what really went wrong with Wing Chun for past 160 years if one want to continue on to expand, to grow Wing Chun. Unless we know what exactly is going wrong, there is no way to reform and to make proper and to grow Wing Chun. So today I'd like to share with you all those points that one need to know. Now, I'd like to share with you one thing first as an analogy. We know what is Formula One racing, right? Formula One, the automobile racing. There is a real racing. We also know that there is racing within the James Bond movie. And we know that whatever in the James Bond movie is a make-believe. It's not something real like Formula One. Now, the reason why I brought up this Formula One and the James Bond movie racing is, in today's world, most people who practice Wing Chun, what they think, what they like is the analogy of James Bond movie racing, not the Formula One racing. They don't care on what is the real Formula One racing. They just thought that by some magic, by some seminar, by some study with some secret teacher or secret teaching or authentic or oldest or king of Wing Chun, one be able to perform like in the James Bond movie, the racing in the James Bond movie. Yet they have no idea what is the Formula One, like the fight in the MMA or the fight in the Thai boxing. Okay. This already is a reality. A reality that Wing Chun have turned into those type of movie stuff, which is off, separate from the real world of martial arts. So I want to start this analogy with you because in Formula one need to know how to drive the car. One also need to know the engine of the car, the wheel of the car, in order for one to race in Formula One. There's no such thing as I just turning my wheel like in the James Bond movie that you can race. And you have this magic car like in the James Bond movie. Formula One racing, you need to know everything on the car. Now, with this in mind, now we know there is the James Bond movie racing and there's Formula One. There are these two types of racing in the world, and there are these two types of so-called martial art or Chinese Kung Fu in the world. One is for the real Formula One. One is a make-believe for the James Bond movie racing. Figure out where are we? Where are we? Which one do we actually practice? In order to learn the real Kung Fu, one need to be the first thing honest with oneself. If one not be able to honest with oneself, then forget about it. One will never learn the real Kung Fu. One will never be able to race in Formula One. Because to race in Formula One, it is not the James Bond movie. One need to know, be honest with what is the strength and weakness of the racer, the driver, the car, the engine. Okay. Now, the number one problem in the past 160 years of Wing Chun is hearsays. Always is Sifu say, it is said, this grandmaster so. Legend said it is so. My lineage say it's so. This grandmaster say it's so. Yet there is no evidence. There is no cause and effect being told. It is just Sifu say so and so, grandmaster say so and so. This is the king of Wing Chun. Somebody calls somebody king of Wing Chun and he says so and so. When this type of mind, this type of fuzzy mind or clouded mind dominate a martial art system, you know it is, the game is over. So the hearsay stuff is like in the James Bond movie, okay? In Formula One, you have to base on historical track record and science. You want to race in Formula One, you better have that, okay? So, if one want to talk about martial arts, disregard of any martial art of any country, it is history track records and the scientific evidence. Not this grandmaster says so and so, this supreme king of Wing Chun says so and so. Everybody can have their opinion, but there can be a James Bond movie. If you want to race in Formula One, the hearsays must go. One need to learn how to think clearly. Anybody, if they want to say something, if they not present the historical scientific evidence, you stop there. Because you know those are James Bond movies. If one don't train one's mind to be this clear and this sharp, forget about martial arts. Forget about it. Okay? Now, that is the first thing, the hearsay. Can we get rid of the hearsay? Here on, drop all this thing. Many people say, well, Hendrik, you know, that we cannot blame other people and this is a difficult time. I call them bullshit. Yes, bullshit. 460 years ago, when the pirates dominate in the coast of the China when Qi Ji Guang would want to fight them, to practically get rid of them, because the people need to have a living. Can one accept the alibi of, oh, you know, yesterday is rainy, so that our army is not as good to fight in the rainy day? Or we need to be compassionate, nobody's wrong. Man, you have your army trained there and it no can do, and you said that nothing wrong. You've been being there for decades. That's why you see Qi Shi Guang wipe the entire thing clean, start the new army, because the old army is full of it. Okay? So anybody who is serious in Wing Chun, for real Wing Chun, Formula One Wing Chun, not movie Wing Chun, have to think in that type of mentality. We don't blame people, but people need to take responsible for what the heck they screwed the entire thing up. Okay? And don't talk about difficult. For example, when the Japanese karate was challenged by the Thai boxer in 1960, Mas Oyama brought his team, the Kyokushin team, to Thailand for that very famous competitions. Is it difficult for Mas Oyama to do such thing, to stand up? Is that oh, everybody, you know, have their point in karate, blah blah blah? If Mas Oyama didn't bring the people to Thailand to have that competition to prove karate, what will happen? Can you keep giving all those kind of alibi? It's difficult time. Is you know, this is martial arts. This is not James Bond movie. Okay. So all those hearsays, all those movie stuff, okay? One need to have a clear mind. This is military. It is not making movie, okay? So have to be clear. The second, fake history. Fake history. It is well known that for the Chinese to have fake history. Yes, fake history. Like the other day I shared with you. 100 years ago, to be exact, 1930, they already know. Like this, I shared with you a few videos ago on Taiji. They know that it is problematic, but people choose to go with the stories and lineage and who teach who, not the technical content. And then get into this Taoists. They ignore Qi Ji Guang completely. You see all the Taiji history today, everybody say Zhan San Feng, and then we can use this jing to fly. They completely ignore General Qi Ji Guang. And yet they took 29 of the 32 momentum of the General Qi Ji Guang to make Taiji, to start Taiji. Fake history, fake Chinese history. That is in the upper side from the north. In the Canton side, people using the a fiction called 万年青, 10,000 years of Qing. to become the base of their martial arts. For example, they said Hong Qin is created by Hong Xi Guan. Okay, those things is not from the heaven and earth association of the anti-Qing. That is from this fiction, the 10,000 year Qing. So 100 years ago, Tang Hao already wrote that. Same thing. Guess where your Pak Mei, Taoist, Ji Sim, Mui, all these things come from? Well, the same fiction. Okay? And this fiction was created in where? Canton. So until today, people said, oh, Wing Chun must be from this north southern Shaolin temple, from Jisim, from Moy. And then, oh, it have to relate it to Hong Xi Guan, because the wife of Hong Xi Guan, hey man, all of those are just fiction. Like today's movie, when they talk about Yip Man movie, is that real Yip Man? Why don't you check the history? What the heck's going on? Okay. So in the past, people make fiction, and then they use the fiction to explain wherever their martial art is from. And today we're using what? Movie, Tai Chi movie, Wing Chun movie. Is that real? So again, if we don't use the historical track records and the science by evidence, you know it is over. The Chinese have been 100 years since 1930. People found it out, but they never be able to change. Well, it is not that easy to change in China and in Asia. Why? You look at the downfall, the causing the downfall of Qing. Okay, who is the guy who started the entire thing? Well, Sun Yat-sen. Okay, who actually changed the Qing dynasty to the China, the modern Chinese. Okay, they overturned the Qing. They really overturned the Qing. So who is this guy who overturned the Qing? Is that from China? No. Sun Yat-sen is American citizen. And if you go to San Francisco here, you can see a lot of record that a lot of money from the overseas Chinese from America is supporting that overthrow of Qing in China. Okay. And then within the China, there's this revolution and so forth. But you see that all these things support from overseas, not in China itself. The Wing Chun uprising, the Taiping uprising, the Chai Wing Chun, the Heaven and Earth Associations anti-Qing, 1850s uprising, they lost. And then you have so many decades, it is become Qing's government rules. And the anti-Qing people, where did they go? They go overseas. And as what I said, You go to San Francisco, Chinatown, you can see that the ancestor of the anti-Qing, who like our Wing Chun ancestor and Chile ancestor, who anti-Qing, who after the loss of the uprising 1850s, they fled to San Francisco, to America. And of course, some go to China, some go to Japan, some go to Southeast Asia, different part of the world. And when Sun Yat-sen want a reform to overturn the Qing, it is from overseas in, not inside. Inside is like the other day I shared with you. Today's Wing Chun actually is from the opera group, which is supported by the Qing. They already turned their side to the Qing. They no longer anti-Qing. Okay? So, the Chinese is really bad on this history. It is not the technical. It is personal benefit and their fame. So you have all kinds of stuff. It's like that. Okay. Here it said really clearly. It become the competitions of the name and the benefit. This is about the Taiji. So it never changed because what important is the benefit of everybody or anybody or money, okay? So if you want to talk about Wing Chun, you cannot get into this fiction stuff, 木以之心. It never happened. It is like a James Bond movie. And then you end up with all this Wing Chun, Wang Chun. Man, it is a mess, okay? So then you make movie, it become like that, and people think that there's Wing Chun, okay? No, you need to base on history evidence. Got nothing to do with whose lineage, which grandmaster. But history, when it is history, is whatever it is there. Okay? Like history, you link to Shaolin, you link to Qi Ji Guang. It's not here. Oh, Hongga, the Hong Xi Guan, Mu Ji Sim. If spiral for that and never get anywhere. Why? Because of James Bond movie. Okay? So you want to get the history, you want to get into the technical source of it, the General Qi Ji Guang, the Shaolin. You want to know about the momentum game, which is the bottom line of General Qi Ji Guang. You want to know about different type of the Chinese martial art fighting style, which is based on General Qi Ji Guang. And you need to know the characteristic of Wing Chun based on whatever it is, not based on movie like that. So, not based on movie like that, okay? Oh, I'm going to fight Kyokutin, get high. So why use the name Kyokutin? Did Mas Oyama Kyokushin make a movie about the Thai boxer, or he sent his people to Thailand? Okay, not daydreaming in this thing. This is just this throwing face of a martial artist. Okay. So you want to base on this. This is the reality. And for Wing Chun 1850, you have to base on this. You don't make things up. Oh, this guy say this as back to the hearsay stuff again. Right? Now, so this is the history part. You want to base on reality, not fake history. Now, yesterday or a few days ago, I shared on this thing. Okay. So everybody can see that this is the beginning up to here. Okay. What practice must know up to this beginning of the Xiu Lim Tao, like sing your breathing to Dan Tian, both side rise up, all this thing here, very, very beginning. This thing. So what is the big deal of that? Why is it so big deal? Well, look into today's world, okay? This thing is talking about breathing and the intra-abdominal pressure. If you look into today's world, what is intra-abdominal pressure? IAP is a concept of pressurizing your core to abdomen bracing and belly breathing. To achieve AIP, you breathe into your belly core using your diaphragm rather than your chest. Okay, this is from muscle and joint clinics. Importance of belly breathing techniques and AIP. That's what I address here. So intra-abdominal pressure provides greater core and trunk stabilizations by increased abdominal pressure and decreased intra-abdominal volume. The pressure acts as an anchor for pelvic, leg, and trunk muscle to pull from, concurrently stabilize the spine, pelvis, and ribcage, core stability. Iron Athletic Clinics. Boxing core workout for stronger punches. The core play a vital role in boxing as it enhances effective mass and transfer momentum from legs through to the hand with punching. From the Black Belt magazine. Sprinting is an explosive sport, whereas martial arts use explosive techniques. Martial arts require you to develop all of them. Okay? Sprinting. The importance of solid core training for sprinter. Elite level sprinter are built like machine, powerful leg, strong arm, and solid core. An easy way to distinguish your core is to simply remove your legs, arm, and head from the picture. What is left over can refer as your core. Okay? Now, so what is the significance of this thing? This thing? Now you can see intra-abdominal pressure, you're breathing, you need to have your belly breathing. Now, that is how you stabilize your core. For like even the boxing, you need to have your core to handling your momentum, okay? And in martial art, for explosive techniques, you need the like spring type of solid core developed. So the first thing in 1850 Xiu Lim Tao, you need to train that. If you don't have that, what the heck do you have anyway? So 160 years ago or today, okay, today's science, in all martial art, in boxing, in all other martial art, people recognize this. First thing, you need to have your breathing intra-abdominal pressure, then lead to your core stability, your body handling. So the Shaolin martial arts say, if you do not know how to breathe, you can have magic techniques and magic move, but it is useless. That is a Shaolin saying, okay? It's a well-known one. That's why you say that internal, you need to train the breath. So today, scientifically, we know this, proven by science, and you see people train scientifically. If you're missing this, what happened? You get into this. Hand techniques. This hand technique, that hand techniques. Well, in the real world, those are like the James Bond movie. In the real world, when you face your opponent, which is trained this way, okay, trained with their strong core and everything, and their breathing and their intra-abdominal pressure, with the sprinting, they develop the strength, the speed, the power with the solid core training. How can you face them? Now yet everybody say, oh, Xiu Lim Tao is the first set of Wing Chun. It is a dictionary. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where is the basic, your core stability, your breathing, your intra-abdominal pressure? You look around past 160 years, you see a void there. Nobody addressed that. Everybody addressed hand techniques. You know how serious that problem is. Now, let's look into this. This is the proper way how to do it. Exhale, inhale. Well, this is a lineage in the Cho family. What's wrong? What went wrong with this? Even though it have the same type of half yin yang practice. What went wrong with this? Well, I can tell you what went wrong is this. In the ancient, first, people can teach you the sets, but never teach you how to apply it. People can teach you the application, but never teach you how to develop that kung fu of intra-abdominal pressure and those kind of stuff. Well, people can teach you that, but then people don't teach you the full writing. So then you can see the big picture. Now, this is a victim. The person who modified the sets do not know the inhale and exhale phase. Exhale, inhale, the compressions of the rib cage, all those which I explained before. So what he get into is hand techniques. You see this? He thought that only hand techniques. So instead of you exhale, you go back to inhale because you need to finish that cycle of training your breathing and intra-abdominal pressure. He didn't do that. What it end up is put another hand techniques there. Now, that hand technique break apart the inhale and exhale phase of handling the intra-abdominal pressure. So by looking at that, you know that the person who get there, develop that the sets, modify the set this way, never have the so-called quote unquote inner circle teaching of the Cho family. That's why, disregard how you train this set, you will never develop the intra-abdominal pressure and breathing. So this is what went wrong. The person who learned this and then later, thinking, if I have one way down and I'm supposed to have a two-way and then come up. Doesn't he know that actually the design is going down, exhale, inhale, instead of going one hand and then both going down again, which is broken the rhythm of the body, the development. It is a tragic. Yes, it is a tragic. This is the tragic of people do not know the internal, thinking that hand techniques have to be paired. This have to pair with this. Look at it again. He thought that you need to have a pair and then inhale. And of course, when you do a pair like that, your exhales rhythm has already broken. When people do that, you know that the sets do not follow the breathing. Okay? This is a Cho family lineage. I said it today so that here on, people know, practice the proper one. And people know that what is the secret within that. The secret is it purposely don't tell you what is happened inside, the rhythm, the handling of the breathing and intra-abdominal pressure. So you never learn it. You never get the Kung Fu. Okay? Now, on this one, so this is people thought techniques, hand techniques, but it turns out that it is not the hand techniques. Now, how about this one? What's wrong with it? So what's wrong with this? So what's wrong with that? The problem with that, same thing. The first thing is people thinking that the Xiu Lin Tao is only hand techniques. So you want to do like a pairing. You want to go this way and then a left pairing and right pairing. Okay, like the first mistake it was done in that sense. The second thing is this person might hurt from somebody say this is for training internal 内功 internal 功夫. So it ended up that he thought that if you do a few times, then you have more 内功. Not he know that it is actually this exhale with inhale. You handle your inhale and exhale phase and your intra-abdominal pressure. That is the 内功. So This is another tragic. This is another tragic. So in the ancient, it is purposely not telling people that they're doing wrong, because only a few persons who have the inner circle secret know that. The rest, it is good to keep everybody don't know. And like today's world, it was said, oh, you know, this is our lineage, how to do this. And then another guy will say, this is our lineage. You know, we are the oldest. We are closer to the ancestor. Like somebody told me, Hendrik, you are not Cho last name, so you don't know. Well, so today I reveal to everybody. Do you know what is the technology inside there? What is the thing which is the differentiate who is the real inner student? But right now, since I tell the entire world, it doesn't matter who is the real guy who have the transmission. What important is everybody is safe and healthy. Don't make a fool out of everybody just because I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest. Bullshit. What do you got? When you have to face this, when you have to face this real life, all those things where people today's train, you know it doesn't work. So 160 years ago, the ancient Wing Chun ancestor who's anti-Ching have this technology. They know it, that you need to have this developed before you go other techniques or anything. And if it is not told to be done this way according to this writing, then you end up with this way. You end up with this way, you are off. You never be able to develop the Kung Fu. Today, scientifically, you can prove that, isn't it? So today, I want to open this thing up for you. Now, it's not about that I know it all. I am studying all these things. I don't have lineage. I don't, as what I tell everybody, I don't have lineage. I don't care for all those things. What I care is everybody safe or not? Is everybody up to the standard or not? What good is to see everybody going down to hell, and then you standing down there and say, well, I'm the oldest. I am this, I'm the grandmaster. Bullshit. If you learn martial art, you have to have humanity. Not that I just provoke, I'm the number one. Number one for what? The ancestor of the Wing Chun anti-Qing, they fought that uprising is because they see people suffer. They lost, they sacrificed, and many fled to America. Okay? It's about human, people. So I open up this to you guys. So stop telling me who is the authentic, the oldest, and all this thing. Do you know what is inside there? Now, when you get to 1870, with the snake crane riding, this Tai Fa Ming Gam, this pro-Qing, Wing Chun, red boat. Now, I don't blame the pro-Qing because they need to survive. Nobody have all the guts like many of the Wing Chun ancestor who's anti-Qing. Okay, fine, I lost, I die, or I lost, I fled to America. And most people is ordinary people. They need to make a living, so they make a living. Okay, but we know from the writing, they already lost that part of the breathing part and the intra-abdominal pressure. they don't even have the sensory system to sense it, to aware of that part. So that's why it ends up this way. Well, anybody who train in the breathing and train in the intra-abdominal pressure, scientifically, even science today say this. AIP is the concept of pressurizing your core to abdomen bracing and belly breathing. Even today's science already know. So anybody who really aware of it, I have trained that in 1850, know that, okay? Know that. So at 1870, the Pro-Ching Red Boat, you know, when they designed Tai Fa Ming Gam and all those who designed this set by this signature, you know they don't know that. Those are chest breathing. Same with this. It is a variations. They don't know that pressure. Same with this. Same with this. You're just moving hand. Same with this. Same with this. So am I the judge? I'm not the judge. This is called science. This is called science. AIP is a concept of pressurizing your core through abdominal bracing and belly breathing. AIP is the concept of that. This is science today. You like it or not, you are facing this anytime when you get into the ring or anytime you get into the street. Don't tell me that, oh, this is good or Wing Chun is only good for street. Come on, you don't even have your core stability trained compared with other martial artists, the modern way, in the modern scientific way. How the world you going to handle them, to face them? Or maybe you are bigger than the other guy, you can beat him. But when you get into the trained guy and as big size as you, then you got a problem. So it is just the beginning of this. You don't have it. And we know by evidence, disregard of his Liang Zhan or Tai Fa Ming Gam lineage. Okay, this is a 这个 Tai Fa Ming Gam lineage, 冯修清 lineage. Okay, or Liang Zhan lineage, your straight body, your slant body, or the mix of Liang Zhan and Tai Fa Ming Gam lineage in China today, none of it have that handling of the intra-abdominal pressure and breathing. It is this clear now. You know it will never work against the training of Western boxing or MMA. You know it. It is like Formula One. People have this 8-cylinder turbo engine. You are pedaling bicycle. How can you do it? And because they don't have this for past hundreds of years, get the influence by all this fake stuff, this Tai Chi, The Wing Chun get influenced by Tai Chi, all this Taoist internal Qi and Jing, and get away from the real martial art, the Qi Guang. So guess what? They thought that this is ultimate. Fa Jing. So this is what they get into. Okay? The mind power stuff, the Jing stuff, the structure stuff. Now, all of this, you see, 1870, this is leader idea. So people explain this using the Tai Chi way of using your Yi, your Jing to explain this Nim Tao mind power. And you get into that. You get into this. The structure, the triangle shape, all this thing. But you look at that. All those things cannot handle this. It will not be able to handle this. Boxing core workout. The core play a vital role in boxing as it enhances effective mass and transfer momentum from legs through the hand when punching. You cannot handle that. That's why technically it's like in Formula One, you analyze that car you used to race. You know it cannot do the job because other people have turbo and all kind of stuff. And this is 1870. It already lost that intra-abdominal pressure and breathing. And then it goes sidetrack again more into the Tai Chi way. Now, I'm not blaming all this thing. All these people are victims. All of these people are victims. Because whoever developed that Xiu Lim Tao in the 1870, he doesn't know. That's why your first move in your Xiu Lim Tao become like that, become like that, become like that. If he know on the thing, is not going to be like this, or be like that, because that breathing stuck here. So even by today's, as what I said, by today's standard, belly breathing, you cannot do it. So you lose your core. Okay? It is this clear already. Now, so past 160 years, it become like that. Okay? Now, I'm not here just bad-mouthing everybody. I show you what went wrong. And I show you what is the solution. If I bad-mouth, meaning that I just bad-mouth you, put you down, and talk bad about you. I don't. I just tell you this technically is little problem. There's a very little, very, very big damage there technically. You need to get your intra-abdominal pressure and breathing back, or else game's over. That's what I just tell you, my message for everybody, okay? It's okay to wrong yesterday, but it's not okay to wrong tomorrow, because today we, by evidence of scientific evidence and historical evidence, we know it has to change that way. And yet the ancient Wing Chun, 160 years ago, they already know the proper way, okay? Which is can be verified by science today. And everybody is doing that today. So if you look at that, 160 years ago, the Wing Chun ancestor already surpassed what we know today. How can they know all these things? Think about it. Now, however, this is not as simple as you think. This is not as simple as you think. Also, it is beyond today's this thing. Why? Because in 1860, 1850s, there are 3 types of training, and the breathing type are different. Okay? The same of this, but how is according to your body condition, how to develop it. You have a different type of breathing. Like here, you using the subtle breathing, the common wind breathing, this the windy breathing. All is different type breathing, different handling that. This is manipulative. This is general. This is really subtle. The ancestor 160 years ago know this. And yet, you know that many things on this today's science still don't know. People like to study into yoga and so forth, research into that, try to find it out. But the ancestor of Wing Chun already got it. The entire system is in this writing. The entire system is in this writing. Okay? So there are value there. There are value there. And there's a reason why I wrote all this thing in the book, Decoding Wing Chun. And it is now, it can be proven scientific, and all those different type of things, different types of breathing, all is scientifically measurable. So everybody be able to do it based on one's fitness conditioning, because you don't want to force your body and endanger yourself. This is not for everybody for the complete training. And even if one is strong, one can get into problem if one do not know the sequence of training and how all these things train. So that's why I wrote the Decoding Wing Chun. And that's why all my book right now is in Amazon. Whatever I know, I put it there. The kids of whatever I know, I put it there so that people can understand what it is. Okay? It is not about grandmaster. What I'm doing is just taking what in the ancient have and map it into the science and put it in America. You want to talk about grandmaster? When I was 13 years old, I start my Kyokushin training. By I am 14 years old, I fought the Kyokushin Open adult in the adult group, not the kids group. Because my teacher told me, hey, Hendrik, you are too tall. If you want to fight, you fought the adult group. So I went to the adult group, signed that injury, accidental injury, whatever disclaimer. Do as everybody need to have a breaking test before you can join the tournament. And I'm lucky that I do not get KO. Okay, I lost, but I don't get KO. I'm not some kind of Superman. And I'm not grandmaster either. Why? I saw all those Mas Oyama's training ways. Okay, I'm not that caliber. Okay, so this is the reality. What went wrong, I already tell you. If all this what went wrong is not straightened out, the real Formula One type of Wing Chun vanish. What you have is only the James Bond type of racing. It's never Formula One. And you cannot say, oh, you know, I train this way. And then when I fight, I using the Western boxing way or BJJ way. That's Wing Chun. Come on. Who are you going to kid? People know what you're doing. So this is to share with everybody here. I just tell all my group that I retire now. So I just do away all my Facebook and my Messenger. Whatever people want to know about what I know can read my book to know it. And as for those who ask me to teach, face it, most people cannot learn from me. Because most people will never do a 2-hour homework every day for next 3 months or something. And many just go in the middle and they go their own way. They never learn. So why do I have to waste my time to teach? Okay, I rather retire and have fun, have a free time for myself without getting into all this hack stuff. Okay, like babysitting elementary school student. And then the elementary school student call themselves a grandmaster. What can they handle? Only one or two who is good, but then they can do themselves their own stuff alone. So I am not teaching. So don't ask me for teaching unless one can handle that 2 hours of training, like in the Kyokushin training. Okay, if you want to learn something, it's better like that. Only like those kind of thing, those kind of people I teach. Otherwise, forget about it. I'm not into it because I rather living happily without have to worry or to thinking about, oh, you need to do this, you need to do homework. And besides, when I teach, I'm not those guy who took a red package or many $1,000s or anything. No, it's like college class. How much you pay for a credit in college, you pay for that. Okay, and you need to pass the class or else you out. So this is a straight thing to everybody. Whatever I do can open to the sun. And if you guys want, the Cho family people want to change it back to whatever the proper teaching, as I mentioned, get your set back to whatever it is, get it back. And but you need to do one thing. Okay, need to do one thing. Need to be honest that that is the teaching of 1850. Don't put my name there saying that I'm the guy who teach. You just want to say that this is sourced from 1850. Now, those who is in 1870 who want to use this to change back, to import the 1850s back, do the same thing. Be honest. This is from the 1850. I don't want credit. Don't give me the credit saying, oh, this is from Hendrik. Forget about it. I don't care for those things. Just saying that this is where it's from. It's like your race car in the Formula One. Where do you get the spare parts? You just tell people this spare part is from Mercedes-Benz, this spare part is from BMW. Tell it clearly, honestly. That's all. Anybody can use this information I present. because this belongs to the Chinese culture. I don't own it, but it has to be proper. Don't get into the same with when people using in past 100 years, people taking Shaolin Wing Chun's techniques and training, put it into their so-called Wing Chun, but do not honestly admit it and give credit to it. Those are really bad. How can one stand tall if one using other people's techniques and not be really openly say, yes, I use that techniques? It is from there. Who's going to respect you in the history? And you can see that there are a lot of great people today in martial art world. As you can see, the Wing Chun ancestor 160 years ago found out that breathing and intra-abdominal pressure, at least that is in that writing. Today, there are many people already know that about the intra-abdominal pressure and breathing. Don't you see that there's a lot of smart people, good people worldwide? So this is a straight talk to everybody. You don't like my talk, just don't watch my video and throw whatever I say in the garbage can. But if you like what I'm talking, think carefully, and make sure that you be able to success. Because my video, I make this video, is hope that, hey, somebody out there, can it be solidly put the heart into studying instead of all this hearsay, fake history, and all this kind of thing, mumbo jumbo? And the end is chasing James Bond movie racing. I don't want those kind of stuff. I hope, I wish many and many more Wing Chuners come to be the real Formula One racer. Win or loss is a different story. The Wing Chun ancestor lost to the Qing too in the uprising. But hero, who said hero has to come on the light? Nobody say that.